Good morning, class. Let us start with our today's topic definitions of economics. In our previous class, we studied about economic and non-economic activity and the difference between economic and non-economic activity. Today we are going to start from definition of economics. As we all know that economics is originally derived from two Greek words, okios, which means households, and nomios, which means management. Thus it refers to management of households using the limited fund or resources. Generally, economics is defined as the social science that study economic activity. Okay, dear student, in simple words, economics means rational management of resources. Okay, now rational management of resources means optimum utilization of resources. Whatever resource you have, that resource are in limited amount or limited quantity. So with the help of that limited resources, you have to fulfill all your wants. Okay, you have to fulfill all your unlimited wants. So this is the rational management of resources. That's why economics is also known as house management. Okay, now the major definition of economics. The major definition of economics are divided into four groups. First, wealth definition, welfare definition, then scarcity definition, and the last one is growth definition. Okay, now if we talk about the wealth definition was given by Adam Smith and his followers. And Adam Smith is considered as father of modern economics. According to Adam Smith, economics as a science, he defined economics as a science of wealth. He laid most much emphasizes on wealth, which is very concerned in his book titled An Inquiry into the Nature and the Cause of Wealth of Nation. According to him, the great object of it means objective, the great objective of political economy of every country is to increase the riches of the country. According to Adam Smith, when the number of riches increase in a country, then the wealth of the nation is increased. Okay, he gave his theory of invisible hand. He also gave his theory of invisible hand. In Adam's view, wealth refers to gold, silver, land, building, and all the production of goods and services that can be consumed. Whatever goods and services you can be consumed. Okay, he is talking about those goods and services. According to him, wealth is the annual product of land and labor of a society. Okay, whatever the labor and land produce in an economy, and the total productivity of the land and labor in an economy, it's simply known as wealth. Okay, now there are certain features of this theory given by Adam Smith and his followers. The first is study of wealth. Okay, economics study the nature of wealth and the causes of that increases wealth. To increase the wealth, the production of good has to be stepped up. If you want to increase the wealth, you must be increase the production of goods. The second one is study of material goods only. Okay, in these definition, the term wealth has been used only for the material goods which are scarce and useful, like chairs, table, pen, books, etc. All those goods are useful, but they are scarce in quantity. As we all know that we have limited resources, but our wants are unlimited. Okay, non-economic material like sunlight, water, services, etc. have not been considered as wealth, because these are nature's gift. Okay, that's why Adam Smith and his followers not consider these things as wealth. Okay, now the last one is economic man. Wealth definition has lays emphasizes on man who does all his activities to his self-interest, such as man motivated by self-interest is called economic man. Okay, every man who is self-motivated. According to Adam Smith, when every individual or every man in the economy maximizes his satisfaction, when he maximizes his profit, okay, when he maximizes his growth, then the economy will grow automatically. Okay, now move to our next definition, welfare definition. The welfare definition was given by Alfred Marshall. According to Alfred Marshall, as in the wealth definition, Alfred Marshall said that a study of mankind is the ordinary business of life. It examines that part of individual and social action which is most closely connected with the attainment with the attainment and use of material requisites of well-being. Thus, it is on one side a study of wealth, and on the other, and the most important side, a part of the study of man, according to Alfred Marshall. Now, there are certain features of these definitions, which are the main feature of the definition are: first, the study of mankind. Okay, economic study the economic activity of human beings. As we all know that, as I told you, that economics simply represent the rational management of resources. Okay, or those rational management of resources is done by the human being. That's why it study the role of man in the creation of wealth or income. Marshall thus gave the welfare definition of economics and shifted the emphasis from wealth to economic welfare. Now he shifted the emphasis, okay, in the previous given by the previous economists, only on wealth. So he switched from wealth to welfare. Now the emphasis is moved to the welfare. Now the study of second point is study of ordinary business of life. Every person act mainly to earn and collect wealth and spend those earnings to get the maximum enjoyment. So Marshall called this activity the ordinary business of life. Okay, thus economics study an ordinary man who earns and spends wealth to get maximum satisfaction. Okay, wealth means to get maximum satisfaction by whatever he or she is earning from the economy and investing it in the economy to get his maximum satisfaction. It does not study an extraordinary a man like a sadhu, a saint, etc. Okay, now third point is a study of material welfare. The most important feature of this definition is that wealth is not considered the fundamental motive behind all economic activities. The primary importance is given to human welfare. Okay, money or wealth are simply the meanings for achieving human welfare. Further, economics does not study the whole of human welfare, but only that welfare that is of material type, like economic welfare. If you talk about economic welfare, it simply means welfare like money and wealth. Okay, money and wealth. Now material or economic welfare is that part of social welfare which can be measured in terms of money, which you can measure in terms of money. The study of non-material, as we studied in economic and non-economic activity, now he is talking about these activities. Like if money is involved, then it is simply known as economic activity. If money is not involved, then it is known as non-economic activity. That's why he is using the term money again and again. The term of non-material welfare lies outside the scope of economics. In short, material welfare, instead of earning money, is material welfare is motive behind all economic activities. Wealth is regarded only a mean to achieve this objective. Okay, student, now move to our next definition, which is scarcity definition. Okay, this definition is given by Leon Robbins. He not only criticized Marshall but also gave his own definition, which is known as scarcity definition. According to him, economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. As we all know that, now what he tries to convince in this definition is, as we all know that we have limited resources, okay, but our wants are unlimited. So with the help of those limited resources, we have to fulfill all those wants which are unlimited. And every resources and those scarce resources have also the alternative use or alternative means. That's why with the limited frame of time, or the with the limited resources, we have to fulfill all our unlimited wants. Okay, thus economics studies human behavior as a relationship between unlimited wants and scarce means which is capable of being alternative use. Scarcity of means in relation to unlimited wants leads to the problem of making a choice. As I told you, every resource have alternative use, so you have to decide which goods you want to produce or which choice you wish to fulfill. This is known as economic problem. Okay, economic problem in economics simply means the rational management of resources. Okay, through the help of rational management of resources, how optimum you use your resources so that you can fulfill your wants. Now there are certain features of this definition. First is unlimited ants. As we all know that by ants, Professor Robin means unlimited wants. Human wants are unlimited, but the resources are limited, so we must fulfill our want within those limited resources. Again, the same is scarce means again the unlimited resources. Human wants are unlimited, and the means or resources of our disposal to satisfy these wants are scarce or limited. That's why we have to fulfill our wants within those limited resources. Okay, student. Now next is alternative use of means. As I told you earlier that every resources have their alternative uses, so you have to choose which goods, which services you wish to fulfill. Okay, because every good has alternative use, so it's up to you which choice you wish to fulfill. You have to select those choices only. Now efficient use of the scarce resources. Whatever resources you have, it is in limited amount, but your wants are unlimited, so you have to efficiently utilize those resources. Okay, now science of choice. Okay, scarcity, the science of choice. Since wants are numerous and means are scarce, we economics has leaving of course other which can be satisfied later on, and choose some of means for scarce wants to satisfy the selected want. In this sense, the scarcity of means making choice necessary, that is economics, is described as the science of choice. Okay, you have this science of choice simply means you have limited resources, so you have to choose those goods or services, those things which you wish to fulfill. Okay, you have to choose in starting phase, and after, and the other one is on later one, and the later one is yeah, or the other one is in the next phase. Okay, now move to our next definition, which is growth definition. Scarcity definition explain about the presence of economic problem. It is concerned with the positive aspect of the subject, analyzing the problems arising out of scarcity. But modern economists like Samuelson, like Patterson, etc., feel that economics should also suggest how the scarce means should be used to satisfy more wants and to attain higher living standard. Okay, according to the modern economics, we have the scarcity, we have the scarce resources. Now, how efficiently we use those scarce resources in an efficient manner, this is given by the modern economists. Now, according to Professor Samuelson, economics is the study of how man and society choose, okay, with or without the use of money, to employ scarce productive resources which could have alternative use to produce various commodities over time and distribute them for consumption now and in the future among various people and group of this society. Similarly, what we studied in our previous topic by the professor, same thing is given by Professor Samuelson with the improvement like that. We all know that we have scarce resources. Okay, now how efficiently we use those scarce resources, and we know that our wants are unlimited and the resources have alternative use. So how efficiently we use those scarce resources so that we can fulfill our want, and we also fulfill the needs of the future generation also. Now the main feature of the growth definition of economics is first efficient allocation of resources. Like Robbins, Samuelson has also emphasized the need of choice, which arises due to unlimited want and scarcity of resources. Okay, problem of choice. We know that we have the problem of choice. Suppose you have only 100, your pocket money is only 100 rupees, and you wish to buy so many things. You wish to buy stationery, you wish to buy a pizza, you wish to buy something, you wish to buy a present, you wish to buy a cake. So your wish is unlimited, but your resources is limited, so you have to choose which goods and services is you want. Okay, so effect efficient allocation of resources. Okay, how efficiently you allocate your resources to satisfy your wants. Now next is growth of resources. According to Samuelson, available resources should not only be used properly, but efforts should also be made to increase them so as to satisfy every increasing wants. Okay, that's why we need to grow our resources. Now next is solution of economic problem. Economics is not only concerned with the identification of economic problem, but it should also suggest ways and means to solve them. Okay, that's why we have to provide some solutions for those scarce resources. How can we increase those resources? Okay, now dynamism. Economic growth is measured in terms of change in national product over time. This definition lays that economics is concerned with detaining the pattern of employment of scarce resources to produce goods over time. Thus, the dynamic problem of production has been brought within the purview of economics. Okay, economics growth, as in this definition of dynamics, economic growth measured in terms of national product over time. Okay, like we know that when GDP increases, we said that our economy is growing. Okay, but this definition lays that economics concerned with detaining the pattern of employment of scarce resources. You have the scarce resources, now how you utilize those scarce resources in an efficient manner, and how you can change these resources, like with the help of technology, with the help of new innovations. Okay, how these resources can be utilized in a best effective manner. Okay, now in short, Samuelson definition of economics is the most comprehensive of all earlier definition. It includes all the issues which were highlighted in the earlier definition on one hand, and the issues of economic development on the other. Economics as it stands today is built on the basis of this comprehensive definition. Okay students, in short. Now move to our last definition given by given by Professor Keynes. Okay, this is also one of the most important definition, because after the arrival of Keynes, the macroeconomics get started in 1929 1930, as we all know. That's why this portion is important. The earlier economics, including Marshall and Robbins, explain economic activity in the context of an individual only. But as I told you, microeconomics, then after the arrival of Keynes, macroeconomics get started in 1929. But economic problems are related to individual as well as the society. Marshall and Robbins overlook this. Okay, because before 1929 we study economics as a whole, in the sense of microeconomics, but after 1929, the period of Great Depression, we studied economics from a wider point of view, or we can say that we studied economics from a society as a whole. That's why macroeconomics is emerged after 1929. Now, according to Lord Maynard Keynes, explain economics activity from the viewpoint of society as a whole. According to him, economics is the study of administration of scarce means and the determination of employment and income. Thus, economic problem of scarcity of means and choice are approached from the viewpoint of economy as a whole, instead of analyzing at the individual point of view. Not only the individual point of view, if you wish to fulfill all your wants, and if you wish to fulfill the growth of a society, you must think as a economy as a whole. Okay, not only the welfare of an individual, welfare of the society. Okay, according to Keynes, economics is the study of economy as a whole: national income, aggregate demand, total consumption, total saving, total investment, total employment, and the effects of all these on each other and on the economy as a whole are studied in economics, which is called as macroeconomics. Okay student, these are the definitions given in our economics and categorized into 4 parts. Okay, now this is our chapter 1, and chapter 1 is finished only here. Okay, assignment I will send you in the group, and from next class we will move to our next chapter. Thank you student.